This is my first video ever, yay! First YouTube video. I've been posting a little bit on like Instagram, TikTok, under the same handle. Well, they'll be slightly different. I'll put them down in the description. And I'm just getting out into the world now. So, probably unknown, but we'll get there, and I guess some things you'll need to know is I'm London based, and on this channel I'll probably mostly do like sculptures, paintings, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about myself. Instead we could just get on with the video and I can explain what I'm doing here. So these 3 metal walls, they're meant to be the shape, the base to what the heads are going to be, the 3 heads. I'm not going to reveal the plan straight away. You'll just kind of have to see as it comes along, and it'll be a surprise. Here I'm starting to tape them together with masking tape, just to have some kind of hope that they're going to stick together and have some kind of structure. But that is going to be proven wrong because I didn't tighten the tinfoil enough. It was very loose, and so it's kind of hard to work with, but I was trying to save on materials, trying to be resourceful, and it was not helping me.
After all these travels from here to there, it's a currency I can't go without. Harmony is so hard to find. 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 You made me father and mother, sisters and brothers. You made us friends and lovers. Let's take care of one another.
Yeah, I was really struggling, and it's just because I'm gonna be so real, I did not want to use up all our tinfoil in case we needed it later, like to actually cook. So I was trying to use as least material as possible and not scrunch it too much, which obviously means that it has less structure, it's less strong, and it was starting to collapse under the clay, which is why I had to take it off. And here I'm trying to squish it back and give it some strength. I was really fighting to do anything but add more tinfoil to it, you know? Just doing anything.
You made me. Show me who I am. Show me who I am. You made me. You made me. Show me who I am. You made me. I wanna be close by your side. Leave everything behind. Don't wanna wait for the right time.
At this point, it was just getting too hard to sculpt with this body in the way, so we had to behead Viktor for the sake of actually being able to make his face. And also, the way his neck was positioned seemed way too close to the body, and at this point I was realizing that I would have to make the body a lot more flat in proportion to make it look more normal looking.
Anything that I have
Now, at this point, all the faces were not really looking like Viktor, and they were all looking different from each other even, but at this point, I always have to tell myself in my head over and over, just trust the process, because otherwise I will literally go insane from the fact that it isn't looking the way I want it to look straight away, which is fine. It's fine. And yeah, so I thought it was interesting how with clay, it's kind of like painting. I paint way more than I do clay, and it's like you start with the basic shapes and you start to refine them. It's almost like in layers. I thought that was pretty cool.
Drift often and tuck it. Sand in our pockets. What I hold is buried in the deep, deep. Buried in the deep, deep. Buried in the deep, deep. Everybody wants freedom. One by one, a march to the sun. Birds of a feather die together. It's easy to survive without each other. What I miss is something only you can sing.
Oh, with the hair, I was honestly winging it. As much as I'm not even good painting it, definitely not good sculpting it, so I just started making these like sausage-like shapes, and sticking them kind of where I saw them in the reference pictures that I made. And even now, I wasn't really liking how it was looking. I just felt like something about the faces looked off and it was clear, but I didn't have enough knowledge to know what it was. I definitely included as like sunken cheeks, like prominent cheekbones, deep eye bags, like thin lips, his nose. His nose was my favorite part to make. It was quite fun. It was definitely different from what I usually make, so it was fun. I really liked it. But there was just something that was still weird.
Is buried in the deep, deep. What I miss is something only you can sing. Something only you can sing.
Now, I actually forgot to film an example of this on day 2, but this is day 3. And this is how I store it overnight to prevent it from drying out. I put down some like damp cloths and cling film on top of that. I don't know if the cling film actually helps, but it makes me feel better about it. It makes me feel more secure, so I put it down.
What I hold is buried in the deep, deep. What I miss is something only you can sing.
Then I'm using this lovely recycled piece of cardboard to correct what we had lost earlier, what we had to sacrifice. And also I'm using this cardboard to just give the clay some strength because it was so brittle and so fragile. Which I did expect, but not to the level that it was. Like, I don't know if you can see, but that one hair piece keeps moving as I'm cutting. It is that fragile. So I knew that this would take a lot of glue for all the damn hair strands that I had created.
Dance like a skeleton man. Dance like a skeleton man.
I was driving when I saw him in the desert. I found him laying on the ground face down. So I nudged him and I asked him if he's alright. Looking dead 50 miles out of town. He didn't say nothing, so I threw him on my flatbed and took him back home to show my family what I found. But when I got there and drug him through my front door,
I then decided to fix that issue. We were gonna glue it down with hot glue. And I really thought it would solve it this time, but it didn't. And you'll see that later on. But here you'll see me applying it with the hot glue.
Dance like a skeleton man. Dance like a skeleton man. Dance like a skeleton man. Red wine eye, realizing that we are all grains of sand. That if I should live or die, you have always been.
Now, I think seeing the face in fully white kind of put it into perspective for me. I actually liked how it started to look. And I think what might have been the issue before for me was his very, like, bulbous forehead. I think it did need the hair to settle it down. And I had a very annoying camera quality in that moment because my phone couldn't, like, understand why is there a white object on white paper. So obviously, sorry, apologies about that. For a bit there is that annoying quality, but like once I put it on cardboard, it was all fine. And yeah, obviously I start off with a very vibrant color, a yellow, but then I overlay on top of that just because our skin is made up of many different colors and not just one solid one. It's kind of nice to layer it in different colors before jumping straight into the one you want, so it gives it that depth.
Broken bread, it's hard to understand what it meant to take the sin of the world.
So at this point I'm pretty happy with how the face is looking, and it's just really small details I need to touch up, as well as like adding extra layers. But I went on and I moved on to doing like the hex core styled thing. I didn't like make it too scientifically accurate to the Arcane lore. I just thought it looked cool, and I used a shimmery paint for it, and I already knew that I wanted it to be able to glow in the dark to make it just a bit more interesting.
We're all alone. Everything I am will be known. Stung me on the cheek, but I won't get burned. Gave it my all, but nothing returned. I know in
Okay, so as you might have noticed, I just added a bit more arcane-like details, just making the edges a bit sharper, making everything like a bit more high in contrast. And now I did like the hex core style thing, neon green, but I thought I wanted it to look a bit more like the actual thing, and I noticed people interpreted it in different ways, and one of those was by adding different colors on it, and I saw one that I really liked with reds, yellows, greens, and that is what I started doing here. I then had the idea to pour resin in the gaps of the hex thing. I thought it would be cool to have that difference in medium. And I also had some glow-in-the-dark resin dyes, which I thought would be useful for this. Because I did use glow-in-the-dark paint, but I didn't know if it would show through. So we're doubling down and we're going to try just in case the paint doesn't work.
It's been a lonesome way to the edge of civilization. When you look back at the path, you wonder how you got where you are, where things end.
Now, I'm not going to lie, this glow-in-the-dark idea actually did not work. I'm not 100% sure why. Most likely because I didn't use enough of the pigment. That's fine because the outcome was still nice, and you'll see me in the shed trying to see if it worked, and it didn't.